There are many different ways to record PC gameplay, but today I'm going to be showing you 3 ways that I use to record all of my gameplay on this channel. So, cue the intro. What is going on? Diamond Ice here, coming at you with another video. Today I'm showing you how I record my PC gameplays for my channel. One of it right now is what you see on screen. This is the Windows GameDVR. This is only available on Windows 10, and it is only for support for the Windows Store titles, at least for me. That's how I use it to record those particular titles. So Gears of War 4, Forza Horizon 3, Halo 5 Forge, just to name a couple of them. And some of the settings I use, obviously, is to record in the background, similar to how Nvidia's Shadow Play works. Record up to like 10 minutes or so. I guess I think that was the max. Recording up to maximum length. I mean, you can record as much as you want, but obviously for me, I would only just keep it up to the max, even though I probably wouldn't be recording a 2-hour session. Record audio when you record the game. I mean, why wouldn't you have the recording software running if you're not going to record the audio in the first place? So I don't know. That's why it's a weird thing for that. But maybe you want to do like a commentary over it or something using like a separate audio, like, you know, audio audacity, or you're recording another track kind of way. This is interesting though. This microphone and system volume thing allows you to mix in the audio, which one will be better, which one will be higher kind of way. This is kind of useful if it is dedicated audio tracks, which in the other video, my previous video I showed, that one has Shadowplay enabling the separate audio tracks for both the microphone and the system volume, so that's very interesting. 60 FPS, obviously. My recordings are all in 1080p 60 FPS, just for the moment. I'm not doing 4K, 2K, any of those kinds of things, because I don't have a monitor like that, and virtual resolutions are nice, but they kind of tax my system, and I don't have the GPU to record that. Video quality is set to high inside the Windows GameDVR. I think that means just whatever is high, like whatever is the capturing recording resolution of the UWP programs, but something like that. And I guess if you want to capture the mouse cursor in recordings as well. That was Windows GameDVR. That was only available on Windows 10. My next one is Nvidia Shadowplay, GeForce Experience, whatever you like to call it now. This is all the same synonymous terms here. This is my primary software for running, let's say, the benchmarks of my videos sometimes. So I have a playlist for my GTX Titan, my first generation GTX Titan graphics card that I use, and that is what I use for the benchmarks. I use the GeForce Experience to record all that particular gameplay as using the software as the thing, because this one gives the least amount of performance hit when I do the actual recordings. Now, the settings I use are completely different compared to other people, so I'm going to turn this off so I can look at the customization things. What I use for the instant replay and also the manual recording in this case, the replay length, I go all the way up to 20 minutes. So the same thing how it shows in the Windows GameDVR, that has 10 minutes. This one has 20 minutes. That's what I use. And then the quality, you can use these low, medium, high things, but obviously for me, I select custom, and then I do 1080p HD, 60 FPS is my frame rate. And then I bump it all the way up to the bitrate, but it's allowed on my graphics card because I am running a Kepler series, the GTX 700 series cards worth of cards, and bitrate is only allowed up to 50 megabits per second. Now, with the newer cards, they can go up higher than that because the encoder that they use is much different and it's much more efficient and allows more options that way. This is what I use for both the instant replay, which is basically the 20 minutes flashbacked kind of way, and then obviously you can do the manual recording as well. So I'm going to turn that back on just so that I can actually make sure it records. And then my third and final software is what I'm using to record this video. This is OBS. This is a very useful software for both streaming and obviously recording. Most of them sees it as actually what is called in their name, open broadcast software. But for me, I actually doubles as both my streaming and my audio recordings, PC gameplay recordings, that's what I meant. But you know what I mean. Video settings, it's basically, since I can't change it, the canvas is basically 1080p, obviously output, 60 FPS, no downscale filter because I'm not doing any downscaling with this particular recording. And then if I go under audio, I have a bunch of audio devices, but that's not the point. Go into your outputs, go into my recording tab. The output mode I have is advanced. Now, I'd use advanced because of a lot of things I use in here. Now, in this case, you can change a lot of these settings here. I use MP4 for sure, and then the audio tracks I have selected are 1 through 5. You can do up to 6. I use it because I do dedicated audio tracks for both my mic, the game audio, TeamSpeak, or voice over IP programs like that. and also music or whatever, foobar and other things like that. So those ones are in those particular dedicated audio tracks. The encoder I use is the NVNC H.264, which is basically the same encoder that the Nvidia ShadowPlay or the GeForce Experience app uses. That's the same exact one that's on your graphics card if you have an Nvidia graphics card. And obviously with me, I use the 1080p, like I said. Now, the rate control is up to you. This is something that is very useful, and you have to play around with it. You can do lossless, you can do all these particular ones. The newer cards have more rate control options. These are the ones that are available to me. I just use VBR. That's one of the ones that I would use for recording. It will leave pretty much the space between making sure that my space on the hard drive is not full all the time. So that's what I use. CQP is nice. It has some things where it has caused problems with some of my videos, so I don't personally use it, but I heard very good things about this, and you can use that as well. Those are the top two what I would probably use. Obviously, with the newer graphics cards of the GTX series, those ones have more rate controls to use, and I obviously just don't have available to use it. The bitrate, basically, I could do 50,000 as what I do with the Nvidia ShadowPlay. I think for some reason, though, the OBS decides I have some random, like, recording issues sometimes with having it with 50,000, so I don't know why it's not doing that, so I leave it at 40,000. That's pretty much okay. Keyframe interval, I leave it at 0, leave it at auto. The preset, this is easier. This is something easier to use. The preset's nice. You can do basically what the NVNC encoder basically will do as a preset. You can do high quality, you can do the low latency versions, obviously, if your system can handle it. Mine, for some reason, cannot handle the high quality or default preset for one odd reason. So I keep it at high performance. You can do default, depends on what particular gameplay. Sometimes you can see the difference. It's very granular if you do. You have to really like look at the pixels. You have to look all the way in just to do it kind of way. So you have to look at that. Leave the profile at main. Leave it at audio. Leave it at auto. 2-pass recording, GPU, free frames, those kinds of things. I leave those alone. Those are the defaults that were left inside the software when I first opened up OBS. So that's how I do it. And then audio tabs, bit rates are all at 320 because you know, that's the kind of the highest that I want and kind of the things that allow me to use it kind of way. So, and that's it. These are particular softwares, these three that I use, OBS, Nvidia ShadowPlay, or GeForce Experience, whatever you call it, and the Windows GameDVR. This is what I use to record the gameplay on my channel. And I'm perfectly okay with the resolutions. I'm okay with what it's outputting. Obviously, what you do inside of your video editing software will change out the output, as well as any compression or anything that's done. Let's say YouTube does it or whatnot. So it does make a difference, but obviously, if you're capturing raw gameplay and then you're not uploading it to YouTube, this is one of the good ways to do it. So that's what it is. These are my particular softwares I use to record. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you leave a comment down below which particular softwares you use to record for your PC gameplay, and I want to know. I want to see what you guys use. I'll see you in the next one. Later.